Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here again for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks so much for listening, and a big thank you to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Jaramillo for our artwork. Well, here we are with episode 2 of season 11. First of all, a little apology for last week's episode. If you downloaded it early or you were set up for automatic downloads, you might have gotten a version that had a little bit of extra talking in it. Oops, that's a little editing mistake on my part. If you'd like a repaired version, a fixed version, you can download it again. It is all fixed up and ready to go. And if you haven't, hey, great. You don't even have to worry about it. What was I talking about? Nothing. Ignore it. Ignore it. Ha ha ha. Hey, a big thank you also to all of those who came out to our live Drunkard's Walk on the 13th of December in Pittsburgh at the Arcade Comedy Theater. It was a great time. And if you missed it, don't worry. You're going to be able to hear that as episode 5 of season 11. So there you go. That's all the fun stuff I've got for you. Check out our link tree. Check out our other things. I don't know what else there is besides the link tree, but go to the link tree. Give us a rating. Give us a review. Give us a topic suggestion for a topic that we can go to later in the season. And hey, why don't you just enjoy the show?
Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Drunkard's Walk, or perhaps a non-exciting one. This announcement is being made prior to the recording, so it could suck. But whether it's good or bad, I will have by my side my sometimes exciting and sometimes, let's face it, quite boring co-host, Matt Hartman.
Wow. What an intro, Jethro. Thanks so much for that. I really appreciate it. It's nice to know that I'm sometimes boring and not always boring. So, glass half empty. I mean, full. Crap.
I've got to be honest with the people. I'm sometimes boring too. It's just never on this podcast. I'm always energetic and exciting on the podcast. When I'm boring, it's off camera, non-recorded.
Yeah, and we appreciate that, by the way, that you're willing to spend that boring time not of record, so to speak.
Yeah.
It makes it a better thing.
To manage my brand.
Yeah, for sure. And that's absolutely your brand, not boring.
There we go.
That's 100%. We're going to get t-shirts. It is exciting here. We are in episode 2 now of season 11. And boy, that first walk from the Monster Cereals over to the Unit 8200. I didn't see that coming, Jethro. I'll be honest. I had no idea we were going to have that kind of topic suggestion. It was out of nowhere.
I mean, I think all of our suggestions are out of nowhere. If we saw them coming, it would be a boring and predictable podcast.
Gosh, yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, I guess this is not news then, folks. This is just me stating the obvious again. Talk about boring.
Yeah. And if you enjoy this, then you'll enjoy our spin-off podcast, Matt Hartman States the Obvious.
It's a podcast.
He just relays a bunch of facts that everyone already knows.
You're listening to it.
Exactly.
Yep. It's fantastic. Well, you know what does bring a little bit of life, though, Jethro, to our podcast? What does alleviate the boredom that you and I bring around every week? You know what I'm thinking of?
The booze?
Yeah, that's right. No. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about the walking from one Wikipedia page to the other, just using the links and, it all being a random walk and things like that. No, I'm talking about the fact that we bring on a guest every week.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
A guest is better than booze.
Yes. 100% of the time, that is the case. And this week, we are so pleased to have one of our amazing listeners, Dan Cohen, joining us. Dan, how you doing, man?
I'm going well. How are you guys?
Rand.
Super, just super. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't say that we're super. I'm not exactly super. There have been geopolitical events that have transpired in my country over the last week or so that have left me a little not super. But I'm surviving. I'm getting along. What is it?
Just ignoring that massive thing.
That's
apart from all of the things that's going to affect.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm trying to do. How does it look from the other hemisphere? How do things? How are you guys looking at the U.S. at this point?
It's kind of to be honest, it feels a lot like it did in 2016, where it's like
Yeah.
Really? Okay. This should be interesting and probably not in a good way, but yeah, I mean, it's I feel a lot more for you guys than us. How much of it we get, we'll see. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting time.
Do we? I mean, do we look a little foolish? Like, do you guys laugh at us a little bit based off of these types
I
of
mean,
things?
look, it's in classic American fashion. I think you guys are leading the way, but you're not the only place around the world that's like
Yeah.
gone a bit to crazy town. Everywhere is kind of doing it, including us in a lot of political ways. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel
it's kind of
like
like looking into the future a little bit, which is worrying.
Yeah. And I feel like even in the best of times, America often looks foolish for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, like yeah, I guess so. Pick a reason, and that's the reason of the year. Sure.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Well, so for those that haven't picked up on it yet, Dan, you are coming to us from somewhere in Australia. Is that correct?
Yep.
And where exactly in Australia
New
are
South
you?
Wales, a little town, country town called Orange, sort of near, a few hours from Sydney. So
Okay.
yeah.
My understanding is that everything in Australia is a few hours from everything else. Is that not true?
It's either a few hours from everything else or like a day from anything else.
Okay.
I mean, driving across the country takes you like a week straight, and there's nothing in between where you start and where you leave, where you end. So yeah, it's we're all just clustered around the coasts, and that's for the most part it.
Sure. That makes sense. So what is it? Tell us. So first of all, tell us, how did you discover Drunkard's Walk over there in Australia? Because we don't do a lot of advertising. Well, we don't do a lot of advertising anywhere. So how did you find us?
The same way that I'm going to guess is true for a lot of Australian listeners, which is when you guys crossed over with Escape This Podcast.
Ah, yes.
So yeah, no,
that was great.
Enjoyed what I heard, and I've gone back and listened to everything since. So
wow,
that's been good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. We super appreciate it. And what is it that you do? Like, do you do anything during the day? Like, this is in the middle of the day for you. We're recording at night. Like, it's after work for us.
Yeah, I'm on my lunch break, quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am an accountant by day. But it's one of those things. Got to have a job to make some money. So otherwise, it's too many hobbies for the amount of time that I have. Otherwise, lots of nerdy stuff. And
Speaking of hobbies, Dan, I couldn't help but notice on the Zoom call that there is a bewildering array of what I assume are paints and other art supplies behind you.
Yep. Yeah, so that's for miniature painting. It's mostly aspirational. I start painting things and then go, well, this doesn't look anything like I wanted it to look like, and then kind of give up. So,
but that's the beauty of the miniature, though, is you have to get really close to see that it doesn't look like.
Yeah. Just if you stand 6 feet away, it looks okay. So,
perfect.
But at least I own a lot of paint, so that's good, I guess.
That's an achievement in and of itself, owning a lot of.
Exactly. Absolutely. Now, is there any particular line of miniatures that you like are attracted to that you pay more than others, or is it all just you'll do whatever?
It's bits and pieces, some sci-fi stuff, some fantasy stuff. Got a 3D printer a couple of years ago, so it's a lot of
nice
printing stuff, which is kind of a slippery slope. You just go, oh, I can print that. I'll just churn them out, and then eventually you just have piles and tubs of miniatures that you never do anything with. And
that's awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. Do you do any miniatures, like board game miniatures at all, or D&D stuff or anything along those lines?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. So war games, board games, D&D stuff as well. So it's kind of just a mix of whatever I'm feeling like at the time, and what the people around me are playing, I guess, what I can get games in using different things. So
nice.
Kind of jump around.
Any favorites, any standouts, like your favorite thing that you've ever painted, or you're like, oh, this is great. I did a really great job on this.
Yeah, I've got one particular army that I've done in a really nice, like, blue-green color shifting metallic sort of scheme. So I was really happy to arrive at that, and got to the point where I had to pick up the brush and pick out details, and went, oh, this isn't as fun as I was hoping it would be. And so I've done all the airbrushing sort of part, and the whole army's one color, and I'll get to it at some point.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's good.
Hopefully before the war starts.
Yes, hopefully. We'll have some free time until then, so may as well fill it. Or after the war ends, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
If you're still
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, this is great. I love I mean, I'm a nerdy hobby guy myself. I know that right now I've got my blurred background on, but I got a ton of Star Wars and
nice.
Star Trek and He-Man and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in my room as well. Jethro is very boring. He's got
a ceiling fan.
His number one fan, hanging in the ceiling there. So Dan, tell us what you got for us this week. Where are you going to send us off to?
So I guess speaking of board games and also war, my topic is the campaign for North Africa. Not the events, the board game / war game that attempted to simulate the events.
I don't know anything about this. Tell me a little bit about. So this is a role playing game, I'm assuming. Or war game, I guess.
So it's a war game that was published in 1978.
Oh, okay.
And it has kind of this notorious reputation of being the most complicated game ever published.
Oh, nice.
Wow, you're really speaking Matt's love language.
Yeah, I love this.
So this thing is like just next level. Like the game is never fully play tested because it's too big. There's no way to play test it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And release it in any reasonable time. And as far as anyone is aware, there's been no confirmed accounts of anyone actually ever finishing a game.
What?
And the reason for that is that it's generally a 10-player game that takes an estimated 1,500 hours to play.
Oh my God, This is amazing. How have I not heard of this?
So you get together to play for 3 hours a night, twice a month. It would take you about 20 years to get through, which is almost almost 10 times as long as the actual campaign for North Africa took at, a little under 3 years.
And it was probably more pleasant.
Exactly. Well, it's certainly more interesting, I think.
So have you seen this game? Do you know anyone that owns this game? Have you ever seen it?
It's like, it's one of those things that's whispered about, right? Like
it's a legend, yeah.
People know of it, but no one knows anyone who's played it or even owns it because it's old enough. It was kind of a relatively small publication at the time. There's probably not that many copies in existence, especially 45 years later.
Right.
So. Yeah,
so
it's just one of those things.
Is it just a text document that describes the game, or is it like a box with 3,000 pieces in it? And
1,800 counters. The map is like it forms a single 34-inch by 115-inch board. What's that? 9.5 feet long or something. There's like 200 pages of rules, 150 charts and tables. Like it's it's not really a game. It's a simulation on paper.
Yeah.
I feel like this is how Matt's going to spend his retirement.
I mean, maybe it's possible. Maybe I'll start now and see if I can finish by the time my kid's out of college. This is amazing.
It just gets down to this ridiculous granular level where, like, the most commonly cited detail is that you're tracking all kinds of rations and all of your resources, and Italian troops have to use slightly more water than other troops because of cooking the pasta. So it's like, and our British forces, they have more evaporation of fuel because, they were using 50-gallon drums instead of jerry cans. So they're not as airtight. So
sure.
It's like just a ridiculous level of detail that is, too much.
Was this made by like an actual, like a Milton Bradley, or just some lone genius / psychopath who built this all on his own?
Well, it was I believe it was from it might have been one of those magazines where it was a small scale magazine. One of those, it was like a small scale hobby magazine, I guess, where they probably didn't have much of a readership, but they'd been getting all this feedback from people going, "Oh, we want a massive game that's really complex and we can really sink our teeth into." And so it's a classic example of people they know what they want, but they don't know what they need. So you give them what they want and they go, "Oh no, this is terrible." It didn't do well as far as I'm aware, at least not enough to have lasted. And because it's got that reputation, there's been multiple attempts over the years. I think, we're gonna buy the rights and streamline it and release it. And, I don't think anything's ever eventuated out of that because, there are just better games in the intervening years that have done what it was trying to do in
Right.
much more fun ways.
Not quite as much detail, but actually enjoyable to play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would think that somebody would have put it like online by now, right? Like that there would be an online version that just everybody gets together and plays and
Yeah,
somehow
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a like a tabletop simulator mod or something for it that someone scanned all the booklets and made it. But again, the issue isn't so much that it's hard to get. The issue is that when you get it, it's not fun and takes forever. So it's
right.
not it's just a combination of factors that mean that it's kind of one of those things that's probably amusing to own as a story,
Right.
but that it's never going to leave the box because, why would you?
Yeah, it's like the board game equivalent to Finnegan's Wake. Like people know about it as a reference, but nobody wants to sit down and read
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yep.
That makes sense. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I just was on a board game playing weekend with some friends of mine, and we played a game that lasted 7 hours, and we were like, oh God, I can't even imagine something going like this just on for forever. And I mean, they have legacy games now, I guess, that go on for a long time, but not 20
even
years.
like a D&D campaign or something where you're getting together for 4 hours a fortnight. That might go for a few years, but 20 is a long time.
Crazy. I absolutely love it. I can't wait. I can't wait to try to figure this out. Well, this is awesome. Dan, we really appreciate this. And we super appreciate you jumping on and doing this during your lunch hour and all the way from Australia. It's so exciting to have you as a listener and as a guest. Before we let you go, it's the middle of the day for you, so I'm going to guess I already know the answer to this, but are you having a drink of any? Are you drinking even water or anything now?
I just got some Coke Zero full of ice and, just figured it wasn't a great idea to slam a cocktail at midday or,
Probably. Well, it depends on your job, I guess. But I would.
I could work the afternoon from home, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, no, yeah, I totally get that. Jethro, how about you? Anything this evening?
I've actually got two things. I've got a little bullet bourbon here that I'm enjoying on the rocks, as is my want. And I also have a delightful Perrier that I brought home from work because I work for an internet company and they have a fridge stocked with such things.
Wow, that's nice. Wow, I've never worked for any place that had Perrier. It's like tap water.
It is a French company. So,
okay. All right.
What about you? You having a bevy?
I am. As a matter of fact, I'm drinking a bourbon to no one's surprise, and this is McAfee Brothers Benchmark Foolproof. This is a 125 proof bourbon. It is incredibly inexpensive. It has a twist cap on it. That's how inexpensive it is. But it's 125 proof, so it's doing the job. But it's really interesting. On the side, it says that the benchmark that it's talking about are the benchmarks that they use to survey the land that's now home to the Buffalo Trace Distillery, and this is actually distilled at the Buffalo Trace Distillery, which I thought was very strange to find out. But yeah, it's super high proof, and it does a good job for a $30 bottle of bourbon. So,
well, I will add a +2 to my estimate for how many steps it's going to take us if you're drinking 125 proof.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You should. Well, again, Dan, we super appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for this awesome suggestion. I cannot wait to try to find this thing and learn more about it. And then, as Jethro says, hopefully play it in my sunset years. Wait, that's not right. What am I trying to say?
Your golden years?
Golden years. There it is.
They won't be
Bourbon's
golden
already working.
If you spend them playing this game, so maybe avoid, I think.
That's true.
Awesome.
Well,
thanks
Dan,
for having me, guys, and good luck on the walk.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, and take care.
Will do. Cheers. Bye.
All right, Jethro. This is let's hope that the walk to this thing is not as long as playing this thing.
I mean, how could it be? Unless we're just idiots.
I mean, so you're saying there's a chance, is what you're saying.
I guess.
All right. Well, what we do need to do before we start that walk, though, is make a guess for how many steps will it take us to get from Unit 8200 to the campaign for North Africa. And it is somewhat war related. So maybe there's a path in here. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it could definitely be a short walk depending on what we do. I will say this, since you're a big board game freak.
Yes.
Here's my $1 million idea for a board game, and we can go in
Okay.
on this. It can be published under the Drunkard's Walk corporate entity,
Great.
but it is. We'll come up with a snazzy name. That's your department.
Okay.
It's a box, and it's just got a single piece of paper in it, and all it says is the last person to list a rule for the game wins.
Hmm.
And so you just start explaining rules, and then eventually people will tire of listing rules,
Uh-huh.
and whoever is the last person to list a rule will win.
That sounds more like an endurance test than a game.
Okay. All right.
It sounds like a sport, actually, more than a game.
Listen, I've played some games with you, and a lot of those were endurance tests. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true enough.
but it gamifies the least favorite part of the gaming experience for me, which is setting up and explaining the game to people who have not read the directions.
Sure. Yeah. No, I understand that. That makes perfect sense. I totally get it. Well, I've written down a guess. Have you written down a guess?
I have also written down a guess.
All right. Well, then let's go forth from Unit 8200. You know, I just noticed something on this page which I had not noticed before, and it says that that quote ISNU redirects here. For Illinois State Normal University, see Illinois State University.
Huh.
So it's like not a disambiguation, but it's if you try to search ISNU, you're going to come here because of I don't even know what that stands for. Israeli Signet National Unit.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, according to the pop-up, Illinois State University was founded as Illinois State Normal University and later renamed, although I don't have a.
Yeah, I don't know. So there you go. So that's an interesting thing, I think. I find that to be interesting. Do you find that to be interesting?
I don't actually, but thanks for trying.
All right. Thank you. All right, cool. So
I'll say this in terms of college renaming news. There's a school in Denton, Texas, which was formerly known as North Texas University, and is now the University of North Texas, or UNT as it's commonly called. And they have a radio station. And as you know, many radio stations are preceded by a W, others are preceded by a K. So when they originally started the North Texas University radio station, it was KNTU, but they did not opt to rename it when they became the University of North Texas, for reasons I will leave to your imagination.
You know, my understanding for those K's and W's is that east of the Mississippi W, west of the Mississippi K.
I've heard that as well, although I've never put that to the test.
And the one that that goes against that is KDKA in Pittsburgh, which was the first radio station.
Yeah.
So
I'll also say that WGN, the superstation out of Chicago, Illinois, which was owned by the Tribune Corporation, stood for World's Greatest Newspaper.
Right. Yes. So that's a different thing entirely, as far as I'm concerned.
Indeed.
So. All right. So what are we going to do here, man? We got to get into this this war game, and I mean, there's a lot of war stuff on this page. I see military intelligence. I see surveillance. I see counterintelligence.
I see the United States Department of Defense, which, from my understanding, was a heavy into World War II.
Yeah.
Although not in the campaign for North Africa, though, because we didn't join the war until much later.
I wonder if there is World War II somewhere on this page, and if so, is that the path? Like, I guess what I want to try to figure out early here is, should we be going through actual war to try to get to this game, or should we try to get into the game realm and then into war games and things along those lines? What do you think?
I think both are fine. I think that the war path is, pretty
The warpath.
You're
on the warpath.
The warpath to the destination seems like it's a pretty, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by the steps that we take to get there. So it might be fun to go a little bit off the beaten path and try a little less secure route, and by trying to get to the gaming area first. But I also don't know, like we don't have the name of a publisher. We don't have anything other than this is a legendarily difficult games. So we would have to get to other games that are legendarily difficult, and I struggle. And I'm sure this is an area where you have a great deal more knowledge than I, because the only game I can think of that was legendarily difficult was trying to play Monopoly with my child, who literally would never trade properties for any reason, not because she wanted to win, but because her victory was me getting mad.
Oh, well, yes, I understand that. I've definitely played some Monopoly in that very same way, so I get it.
You play Monopoly
It's,
with my daughter?
no, I've just played it to try to infuriate the other players because I've decided, well, I can't win, so let's just make other people angry.
All right.
Yeah.
You're a fun guy.
No, no, not at all. Okay, well, so the one issue with trying to get into the game world from this page, I'm noticing, is that there isn't much fun on this page. Most of it is war related, and I see there's a whole list of different military agencies at the bottom. In fact, the only thing that I'm seeing that might get us out in a different way is that I see links for television, radio, newspaper, and internet.
Where is this?
Right near the top, under the overview, in the second paragraph, there are links to all four of those things.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was one thing.
No, sorry. They're four individual links.
So I do see up above a link to Silicon Valley. Now, Silicon Valley itself is not game oriented, but it is entirely people with nerds, and nerds tend to be in games, so that might be.
Yeah, I don't know that would be on that page though necessarily. Isn't there? What is the place where they have the big puzzle like cipher thing as like a piece of art? Is that the CIA?
Yeah, that's the CIA. That's
Okay.
in the middle of the CIA, I believe,
So I wonder
that network that you're talking about.
I wonder if there's a path through that puzzle into games.
Yeah, I mean, anything that gets us into like ciphers and puzzles and such. So just the
Codes.
link to signal intelligence might be something along those lines, because like decryption and whatnot kind of is adjacent to gaming and such, right?
Yeah. And I mean, NSA, I mean, they're all about like, I mean, well, this whole thing is about code breaking, right? I mean, isn't that the whole thing that these guys are doing? Code decryption.
Yeah.
So do we see anything actually about codes or code decryption on this page?
I see code decryption listed, but it unfortunately is not a link.
Oh, mobile phone is linked on here. Cell phone or mobile phone. Oh,
Yeah,
New York Times is linked. They have games for sure.
they do, but not board games.
Well, no, but games, games into
No, but
games. And
you really think Wordle is going to get us to this North African campaign game?
I mean, eventually, sure.
I mean,
So will any of these things
yeah.
eventually, right? So immediately, no, I don't.
All right. So I like signal intelligence.
Okay.
I like United States Department of Defense, but that's a little boring.
hmm
Um, I'm not big on New York Times.
No, you
Yeah.
don't like that one. Okay. I mean, I guess I could go through. Yeah, signal intelligence. Would you go through signal intelligence? I guess just signal intelligence rather than going through like NSA in particular,
Yeah.
because that's going to be a very similar page to this, right? So
Yeah.
that's not going to help us very much. Um, all right, we'll give it a try. Signal intelligence up at the top there.
Fantastic. Here we are. Signals
Big
intelligence.
int. I think
SIGINT.
I said signet last time, and I think that was wrong. So
Well, you know what? The bourbon's talking at that point. So there is a link to cryptanalysis, which has a really cool machine, which I'm guessing is probably the thing that broke the Enigma codes, or was it the Enigma machine, or was it the Enigma codes?
the Enigma machine. But you know what is linked on here is World War II.
Oh boy, look at that. Where's that?
So it's right. Well, it's in a couple of places, but the first place is a German message intercepted by the British during World War II. There's a little photo image to the right, up near the very top under history.
Okay.
So that may be a path. I wonder if there's anything about The Battle of North Cape?
What's that?
Is that? No, that's not. Oh, North African Desert Campaign is linked on here.
Get out of town.
It's totally true.
I feel like we have to go that.
Yeah, it's under World War II here. It says in 1941, Ultra exerted a powerful effect on the North African Desert Campaign.
All right, then. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like this. I mean, let's face it, this is going to be a quick episode.
It might be. Well, as long as there's a link to that game on that page, which, let's be clear, there may not be. But I think it's going to be our best path out of here. I will look real quickly to see. I mean, it's a pretty long page, so we can look at some other things. But I can't imagine I'm going to see anything that would be better unless it was like a link to epically long board games or something like that on this page.
You know, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but people tune into the podcast not just to be entertained, but to also learn something. Mm-hmm. And so under the section on direction finding, there is a description that says the earliest and still common means of direction finding is to use a directional antenna known as a goniometer.
Oh.
So it can be drawn from the receiver through the position of the signal of interest. So if you're ever out there and you need to learn where a signal's coming from, just grab your goniometer, which when you hover over it, looks like a sickle that has a bunch of extra business in the middle.
Extra business, eh?
Well, it's like a protractor with a handle and a compass in the middle of it. It's a handsome and elegant looking device. It reminds me of a sextant.
Oh.
But yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. Check around, look up in the attic, check in the basement, see in the garage. Do you have any of these sitting around? Because if you do, they're probably not worth much, but they might help you do some what was it? Direction finding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's worth looking for. I'm looking down the rest of this page here. I'm seeing some interesting things. Like there's a lot of codes, and like Morse code is talked about, and there's talk about the use of Native American languages for codes and whatnot. Apparently, the UK they use some Welsh speakers for that same thing, which I was not aware of. Kind of interesting, but. Yeah. I'm not seeing a whole lot else on here that I would go to over that link.
Fair enough, but listen, we owe it to the public to turn over every rock and scroll through every section.
100%. Yeah, I'm checking the purple boxes at the bottom here to see if there's anything about games or game theory or board games. Not seeing anything yet, but I am at least checking.
You are indeed, and you're doing the Lord's work there. So thank you for
the
that.
Ming Dynasty is linked on here.
Get out.
Probably not helpful, but it's linked. So,
all right.
Yeah. You know who we haven't seen lately is Pliny the Elder. I'm getting a little. I kind of miss Pliny.
I suspect that our trip to a World War II based board game is not going to give us a lot of Pliny the Elder. Connection.
Yeah, no Pliny, no Baphomet, nothing like our old standbys. Yeah, back in the classic episodes, right? The classics. That's
so true. The kids always come up to us on the street talking about their favorites.
Yeah. All right, I think we got to go to this. I don't even remember the exact terminology, but that Northern Africa campaign link.
I feel like that's a reasonable thing. The North African Desert Campaign.
Yeah, I've lost it now.
It's under World War II.
I got it. Okay, cool. All right, let's go. North African Campaign is what it takes you to.
There you go. Yeah, it took place in North Africa, so it's aptly named. From June 10th, 1940 to 13 May 1943, between the Allies and the Axis powers. And were there U.S. soldiers? I'm guessing maybe there were because in the movie Patton, there's
it has to be because it's 43. We were in there by 43. Right.
So I withdraw my apologies to any World War II veterans who were listening, who were outraged at my ignorant comments earlier.
I was going to say something, but then I was like, I don't know enough to know that I'm right. But I did think that the U.S. was involved, but I don't know. I'm not good enough at remembering these things. Now, here's what I'll say is that I don't immediately see anything about a game based off of this,
Nor do I.
which was my concern. And I believe my concerns are coming true here, because this is about the history. There's no like in popular culture section, which is interesting because, as you say, like if Patton, it involved this, like why not make a mention of it in a movie or something along those lines?
Huh. Well, that's disappointing.
It is, and this goes back to my original question about like should we go through the war thing or the game thing, and what it comes down to is should have gone more through the game thing, I think, because I don't think there's anything on this page about this game.
Not at all. And it's not that long of a page.
It's not.
So there you go.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, now we got to figure out.
I do see a link to the Enigma machine, which gets us at least into code breaking, which is maybe game adjacent.
Huh. I suppose. I feel like we just sort of left a code thing, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't go back. Yeah, there's Ultra, which is, I guess, somehow connected to that. Adopted by British military intelligence in June 1941 for wartime signals intelligence obtained by breaking high-level encrypted enemy radio and teleprinter communications.
SIGINT.
Yeah. Huh. There's a lot about the history on here. I'll tell you that, man. A lot about the factual things that happened in this campaign.
Indeed.
But nothing, as it would seem, about the game that was made about it.
There you go.
Unless I'm missing something. Are you seeing anything at all?
Not a damn thing. Not anything remotely associated with it.
Yeah. There's all the different campaigns of World War II. There's the Western Desert campaign and the North African campaign. There's Tunisia and Torch, and we've got all kinds of links to everything. But not a game.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this about old men, but
okay.
They're obsessed with World War II. Now, a lot of the people who fall into that category are dying off, but that used to be like the thing that when we were young whippersnappers that the old dudes were obsessed with. So I would have to think that if the North African campaign itself doesn't have a in popular culture link to it, like this can't be the only game based off of World War II. There have to be many, many, many games based off of aspects of World War II, and I'm wondering if there might be another one that is slightly broader in scope that has games based upon it.
I see. So are you suggesting that we go to something like just the page for World War II?
So that would be one possibility.
Okay.
Another possibility, so there's a whole World War II section below, which has a lot of links in it. So anything about World War II we wanted to get to, we could get to specific stuff. So as an example, there is a art in World War II topic that is linked down below. There are links to the various theaters, including Mediterranean and Middle East, and there's also one for the Battle of the Atlantic, the Americas, et cetera, et cetera. There might be some stuff here that links to, like, can you think, you're a big game guy, this is right up your alley. Can you think of things, any games based on World War II that perhaps are more popular or less a pain in the ass to play than the campaign for North Africa might be?
Well, there is one called Axis and Allies.
Okay.
Which is a much more well-known game, and is definitely one that is played more often and has had various publications and things like that.
All right, then that sounds like a possible path for us.
Yeah, I think it could be. Now, how we would get to it, I'm not sure. But yeah, that might be. I mean, that might be a good path in if we could figure out something that got us to there. Now, obviously, there's a link just to allies, and there's a link just to axes, axis, not axes, axis. So we could try that, I guess. I'd be more inclined, I guess, to just go to the page for World War II to see if there was mention of games or simulations or something along those lines there. Just because going to something specific, my concern is that it'll be a smaller page and it just won't have the same types of things that we're looking for.
But my problem with the World War II page is that it's going to be a high level cursory overview, and it's not going to have the granularity of detail that we might expect to see.
I mean, it's possible that is true, but I don't know which specific thing we would go into then to get to like these games, right? Because like if this page doesn't mention the game that is based if this doesn't mention the game that is based off of this, I don't know why anything else. Like I don't know if going to the Axis page is going to have Axis and Allies the game on it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair.
Because there's a lot more to say about that than there is, here on this page. Like if you would think if there was going to be a page that talked about the game that was based on it, or that it was based on, that was based on it. I was right the first time. Oh, there is also a game called Diplomacy. Now it is not specifically related to World War II, but I do see a link to Diplomacy in here. But unfortunately, it is the diplomatic history of World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Which who knows if that's a long page, might be on there. But and I'm sure there must be a ton of other games that are based off it too. Those are just the first two that.
Okay, well let me ask you this. So I see. I'm wondering because I just worry that going to a big broad page is not going to get us to the specific top because like there's a lot of things to say about World War II.
Yeah, for sure.
Games that are based off of it, probably not the primary thrust.
I mean, again, unless you get into if you probably a World War II page is going to have like Call of Duty on it or something like that, right? Like it's going to have video games for sure. Not for sure, but there's a greater chance it's going to have video games than board games. So do you go into World War II, get to video games to get to board games?
Maybe.
That's a possibility. I feel like at least that there's a chance that it's going to be on the World War II page, right? That there's going to be a link to board games that are based off of it.
I mean, if that were true, it would be here on this page. I'm not as convinced of that. I don't think it's necessarily true. You may be right. Right.
And if you have a specific place that you would like to suggest, do so now, please.
So I'm thinking of like the game Battleship, and like games with tanks in them and things of that nature that may be going through like a particular piece of military hardware that we know is used in games. Could be a more fruitful route than going through the very vague high-level concepts of World War II.
And do you see such a thing on this page?
I do see a Tiger tank.
I don't.
Heavy Panzer Battalion.
Like, but what name me the game that has tanks in it?
Oh, so many. Combat. Atari.
The video game, yeah.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
But that's going to be on the World War II page, I think.
I don't think it is.
Oh.
But hey, you know what? If you want to go to the World War II page, we can go to the World War II page. Do you want to at least peruse the options at the bottom? What about like Battleship?
First of all, I don't see a link to a battleship on this page. But also, it's going to be to a specific battleship, and that is not going to talk about the game Battleship. Right? There's more chance that the World War II page is going to have World War II games on it than a specific battleship is going to have the game Battleship on it. That's my
But
feeling.
I'm looking at like the theaters, like the Atlantic. That's got a lot of boats and submarines and U-boats and all that
Yeah.
jazz.
Yeah. I don't like it.
All right, you don't like it.
I'm just saying I don't like it. I'm not saying you can't convince me. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Well, you know what? I don't have the energy to convince you.
Oh,
So if
all
you,
right. Well, great. Let's go to World War II then.
all right, World War II it is.
Yes. That's all you got to do. Just break them down.
There you go.
World War II.
Oh, I see a link to the North African campaign here.
Oh, great. Let's go to that.
No,
Wait a minute. This page is quite long. That's good.
indeed. I'm going to scroll down to the end so I can find out, first of all, how the war ended.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, ended, quote unquote.
Yeah. Hey, the Nazis lost. We'll never
Yay.
deal with them again. Oh, there's a link to World War III.
Hmm. That's not great.
I mean, what does Wikipedia know? All right. All right. So nuclear weapons is linked on here, which could get us to game theory,
Hmm.
which is nice. But I feel like we're kind of circling around the same ideas. Ooh, there's a link to SIGINT.
Just keep seeing the same things over and over again.
I'm seeing nothing remotely like um, in pop culture.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand where do these things link to? Like how do you get to the movie Patton or Saving Private Ryan or any of those types of things? How do you not have those things on here?
Because World War II has a lot going on, and maybe linking to movies is the least important part of it. That's what I'm saying.
But pages on Wikipedia are of unlimited length. You could include it all, right?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So why not include it all? That's what I'm saying.
I feel like, I mean, there has to be a longest page of Wikipedia, and imagine
Yeah.
that on the editing chat about that page, somebody's gonna be like, guys, we gotta cut this page down.
You think so, huh?
Too long. Yeah. Also, World War II, a lot of downer topics.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite a few. That's why not have a couple that aren't, you know? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, but who's other than us, who's coming to the World War II page for a light jaunt?
Probably no one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, clearly, once again, I have been proven wrong to think that this would have something like what we wanted. So, is there a better path out of here? Is there something that you would like to go? I broke you down. We went to where I wanted to go. Is there something that would be a little bit better in your eyes?
All right. So
certainly, we still have all these same sort of options available to us.
Indeed, the ones that did not help us the first time. So I'm scrolling down. There's a Western world and culture section.
Yeah.
Which has wide-ranging links to a number of different disciplines, including dance and astrology.
Yeah, I already looked at that.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, I didn't see, nothing jumped out at me, but maybe you'll see something that I missed.
Okay.
It has Western sports, but that didn't seem like the way to go to get to games.
Really? Sports is not World War II is connected to games, but sports isn't? Is that what I'm looking?
Well, so sports is, you're right. I mean, sports is very generally connected to games because sports are games, right? And so you're going to eventually be able to get there. My hope through World War II was that we were going to have mention of actual games based off World War II or movies based off World War II or something based off World War II. Clearly not the case. I understand. But that's what I was hoping for. Whereas sports, you're going to go in and then you're going to have to get to game. Then you're going to have to get to board game. Then you're going to have to get to war games. Then you're going to have to get to this particular war game. And, anyway, it just, to me, it's a longer path, but it is a path. So, gosh, there are so many citations on here.
There's also so under each section, there's see the main article. So technology during World War II. Et cetera, et cetera. So there might be a main article linked here that's could get us there. Although I'm not really seeing a ton in the way of like nothing remotely pop culture related.
Yeah, that is the problem.
All right.
I mean, World War III, because it is hypothetical and because it is fictional, might get us into the world of fiction. But I do see battleships. A battleship is a large, like this is the general thing about a battleship is linked on this page.
Okay.
So you were mentioning before going through Battleship to get to the game Battleship. This one is not a specific battleship; it is the idea of a battleship. So that I feel a little better about than a specific battleship, but it might be the way to go.
I mean, I think World War III at least gets us into. It's not going to be a list of historical things. It's going to be like representations in media of World War III, and like I feel like World War
Well,
III is not a terrible thing.
it might be, or it might be the hypothetical idea of geopolitical what's that could have. You know what I mean? It might not have the pop culture versions of it on it either. It may, but it may
might
not.
But we also know it's not going to be bogged down by lists of actual things that happened because it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, absolutely true. It also might be a page that's, like very small.
Okay. You pick World War II. I'm going to pick World War III. If you have a better one, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I mean, Battleship is the only one I've seen so far that I would even suggest because you'd mentioned it before. So if you want to go to World War III, that's where we're going.
Where is Battleship linked?
Where is Battleship linked? It is, I've gone past it, of course. It is, so about 3 paragraphs up from the see also where World War III is.
Yeah.
There is a paragraph that starts, advances were made in nearly every aspect of naval warfare. And 3 or 4 sentences in, it says, carriers were also more economical than battleships due to the relatively low cost of aircraft. And battleships is linked.
Mm.
And when you mouse over it, it says, a battleship is a large, heavily armored warship with a main battery consisting of large caliber guns. Wink.
Yeah. My my concern though is that it is going to be yet another list of actual facts. Like the problem is we need to get away from historical facts because if the campaign for North Africa game is not listed on the campaign for North Africa actual war page, then I would say let's go to World War III and then maybe hope for some game stuff there.
All right, let's do it.
World War III.
This is nuts. There's a photograph here.
Yeah, apparently it's happened. Operation Unthinkable, Operation Dropshot, British-Irish cooperation. Is that what it's going to take?
We really should have gone to World War I first if we were going to do it at 2 and 3. I feel like I don't know what happened, right? I feel like a little
lost, I've lost the whole narrative structure.
Previously in the World War.
It's the same thing with the Evil Dead film series. I watched Evil Dead 2, then I watched Army of Darkness. I've never seen Evil Dead 1.
Well, Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2 are essentially the same story, so you haven't missed much.
Well, I mean, World War 1 and World War 2 are essentially the same.
Well, there we go then.
With some twists.
This is a lot of factual stuff, dude.
Indeed, which is interesting because, I do see a link at the bottom under see also World War III and popular culture. That's where we go.
So you have to go to a different page again?
Do you want to complain or do you want to succeed, Matt?
Both. I want to succeed through complaints. I'm looking to see if there's any reference to like games of any kind, board games or
I do see lists to like fiction and films and such.
Fallout, but that's actually a thing about nuclear fallout, not the game Fallout.
Yeah, I think pop culture is the way to go.
You think that's the way to go? I haven't even looked through the whole page yet. You're already ready to go.
I'm excited because I have hope finally again.
Mike Jackson's on here. Oh, he does not look like I remember him. Oh, Sir Michael David Jackson. I see. Different person. Captain James Blunt. Wait a minute. There's all these singers in here. Wait a minute. James Blunt is an English singer-songwriter. Wait a minute. They've linked to the wrong place. It has to be.
I mean, it is.
Captain James Blunt, the lead officer at the front of the NATO column in the direct arms standoff against the Russians, received the destroy order from Clark over the radio. But when you mouse over James Blunt, it takes you to the English singer-songwriter.
That is amazing. He is a incredible man who's
No, it's not the same. It's not the same person, Jethro. It's not the same guy. Joe Biden's linked on this page.
Ah, there we go. Well, in a way, he helped usher in World War III in his own.
In a way.
By the way, apologies to our listeners who died in a nuclear holocaust prior to the release of this episode.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We miss them. All right. I was hoping that there was going to be some sort of talk of games or something. Did you look through the purples at the bottom? There's nothing down there?
I found like links to some films.
Oh, yeah. That's not super helpful.
Not
I see. Fictional.
Like category of films.
Yeah. Climate fiction, post-apocalyptic fiction, disaster films.
Yeah.
I see ransomware, cyber warfare, disaster depression, financial crisis, pandemic. Pandemic is the name of a board game.
So is the campaign for North Africa.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. That was a lot closer to what we're looking for.
Indeed.
Dang, why are there no links to war games in any of these things?
Maybe there will be on the page about World War III and pop culture.
Maybe. Armageddon, that's the name of a movie. All right, fine. We'll go to World War III and pop culture. In popular culture, excuse me.
All right.
World War III.
Look at that. A comic book. Finally, things are getting lighter.
Thank God. Okay. Carl Sagan. I see a link to Carl Sagan.
Who you know?
These are going to be all movies and books. Oh, Star Trek, the original series. I see it. Let's go there. Huh? Star Trek? We go Star Trek? Yeah. Mad Max. The Road Warrior. The 1973 oil crisis. We're getting closer. I don't see anything about games yet, though.
Well, fast forward.
I'm going as fast as I can here.
Mad Max.
Some songs by Sting. There's Red Dawn. There's War Games, the movie. Spies Like Us.
That's promising.
Yeah, War Games, the movie.
Yeah,
it's games.
It's game adjacent.
It is definitely game adjacent. And it was made after that board game was made. Maybe somebody, played the board game, was like, I can make a movie better than this. And then
there you go.
Did it. Dark Knight Returns. Batman the Killing Joke. Dr. Manhattan.
So many things.
The Stimpsons.
Stimpsons?
The Stimpsons. Hey, Armageddon's on here. I told you that was the name of a movie.
Yeah, and I didn't believe you.
Star Trek First Contact. William T. Riker. Got actual links here. They played some games in Star Trek a couple of times.
They have games.
Yeah.
Fallout.
Ah.
This time an actual link to the game.
I do see in 2008 games such as Tom Clancy's End War, Battlefield Bad Company, and Frontlines Fuel of War all painted scenarios about the Third World War. Star Ocean: The Last Hope, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So there's a lot of video games here.
Yeah.
But I don't see any board games.
You don't.
I don't.
I mean, board games are an old man's thing. The video games are where it's at.
Is that right?
It's true. Yeah.
I don't know if I should be insulted by that or feel better about it. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Captain Pike, both linked on here. Okay, well, I'm going to suggest, I think we either go through war games or we go through one of these video games. But if we go through a video game, unless it is related to World War II, which none of these are, I don't know if that's necessarily great for us.
Okay.
But I mean, if you have other thoughts on that, please feel free.
I don't know that I do.
All right. So war games would be my suggestion, I think.
Would you like to play a game?
I understand it's not a game, but
All right. I'm glad you found something. So let's go to War Games. The Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy film from 1983.
I love it.
It scared the bejesus out of me when I first saw it.
Oh man, I saw that the first time I saw it was on one of those, not laser disc, but like those giant cartridges that were essentially a laser disc. Do you remember those?
Oh yeah.
Like a flat plastic cartridge you would put into a machine. Yeah, my parents rented it. Rented a machine to play it and rented war games. All right. Oh, a 2008 sequel film. What?
No.
War Games 2? The Reckoning? It's not what it was, but all right. I do see chess, checkers, backgammon, and poker listed as things that are on here. Chess being a famous board game. Tic-tac-toe is on here as well. So these are board games that we could get into.
Yeah, but they're not war games.
Well, chess is kind of a war game in a way. It's a battle. Trying to take the king.
You're like that.
Have you heard of chess? Do you know about chess?
I've heard of chess. So under the external links section, there is or the stuff below that.
Yeah,
is a link to War Games, the game.
But that's got to be a video game, right?
Yes, but this is a movie, and we came to it.
I understand, but we have a chance to get into board games now from here. Why would we go to a video game?
We have a chance to get to board games that are not associated with war.
Again, I would argue that chess is the original war game.
All right. Where's chess? You want to go to chess?
Well, I haven't gotten all the way through all this, but maybe yes. Soviet nuclear. The nuclear family. It's nuclear. Films directed by John Badham.
Mm-hmm.
That's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna help us. Yeah. I want to go to chess. I think chess is the way to go. What do you think? Or backgammon. You want to go to backgammon or go to backgammon? But I feel like that's even less.
Yeah, I'll go to chess rather than backgammon. Where is the chess link?
Up near the top under plot, second paragraph down, asking for games, he finds a list including chess, checkers, backgammon, and poker, along with the titles such as Theater-Wide Biotoxic and Chemical Warfare and Global Thermonuclear War.
All right. Chess it is.
Let's do it.
We are here in board games. There's a link to board game.
There you go.
And there's a whole lot of stuff here.
I love it.
A lot of stuff that's probably completely unrelated to the campaign for North Dakota.
Well, of course it's unrelated, but it's not totally unrelated. That's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, board game might be it.
You think?
Well, my hope, honestly, was that there was going to be a thing down near the bottom that was going to be like one of those purple boxes for like games. And unfortunately, all of the purple boxes are related simply to chess. So,
indeed,
that is a shame. But I don't know. I mean, I think that might be unless you see some sort of link to war type games or war games in any way. I think board game might be our best bet.
Well, I am scouring the purple boxes at the bottom.
Are you seeing anything? Anything you like down there?
I mean, there are a lot of chess variants.
Yeah.
And compound pieces and inspired games.
It's interesting how many of the things in chess are terms that are that only used in chess.
Yeah. All right. I think board game is probably, because we could take a wild stab at some of these, but I think board game at least could get us to something like Risk,
Right.
which is a well-known military strategy game. So I'm down for board game.
All right, let's do it, man.
Here
Let's
we
go to
go.
board game.
History, ancients. All right.
Euro games. Oh, look, there's the game Pandemic.
A game of Skittles.
Skittles. Say more of Skittles.
Hey, there's a link to Risk.
Aha.
Island. And Catan and Sorry and so many things. I feel like Risk is a good possibility for us.
I agree with you that there are so many games listed on this page. I want to check more of these because
I'm totally down with that.
War games ranging from Risk, diplomacy, or Axis and allies to attack and conquest of the empire.
Where is this?
This is under categories. And I would say we go to one of those for sure.
Where categories? Like categories, the section on the page.
Yeah, there's a section called categories. It's right under research and right above glossary. There are several ways in which board games can be classified, and considerable overlap may exist so that a game belongs to several categories.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the war games link.
Oh,
I have to go further down. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, they're alphabetical, so it's on the right-hand side. It's almost at the bottom.
All right, war games. I feel like that is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's listed here in another place, like is there a simulator game, or I'm just checking real quick to make sure that we don't have it on this page. Dungeons and Dragons is on here. There's Risk again, multiplayer games list Risk.
The purple
negotiating games list diplomacy. I wonder if there's any, because I skipped over a bunch of stuff. Is there anything on here about like games that are incredibly long?
I don't think see anything specifically. Like this is more broad. This is not a particularly long article. It's just here are a bunch of types of games. Here's some history of the game. Here's some popular games, which this one would not be. This feels like the destination we had a season or two ago about the North Korean cut your hair in the socialist lifestyle kind of niche reference thing that Dan Cohen uses to impress his friends in Australia with the obscure games that he knows.
As he should. Okay. So there is a link to just war game in the purple box under strategy game.
And does it go to board war game?
It goes to a war game is a strategy game in which two or more players command opposing armed forces in a simulation of an armed conflict.
So I think board war game is what we want because it is a board game that we're looking for. And this is
Do you see a link to that?
Yeah. So it's the one that you pointed out under the categories. If you hover over war games, it takes you to a board war game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize that was, I didn't even look at that as a link. Yeah, let's go there.
All right. A board war game with a set of playing surface or board as opposed to being played on a computer or more freeform playing area as in miniature games.
Yes, indeed. The board wargaming was dominated by the Avalon Hill Game Company, which I think that was what I was thinking of in my brain and couldn't come up with when you were asking about who published it.
Yeah.
So do we see, I mean, it's got to be on here, right? Like it's like one of the most famous, it's a famous thing.
One hopes.
Dungeons and Dragons, Golden Age, Starfleet Battles. Oh, come now. I've gone past under the history section. I've already gone past where it would be. Malaise.
There is a list of board war games.
Is that a link?
That's under C also. List of board war games. So that feels like, if you'll pardon the wordplay, fair game. I did it.
Yuck.
I did it.
Yuck. Oh my gosh, I can't. Can it really not be on this page?
I mean, it's a game we've never heard of that no one ever plays. It's like Ringo Starr's Briss or whatever. Like it's such an obscure thing that. And by the way, we forgot to ask if there's a page for us.
That is a good point.
Right.
I'm just gonna.
I feel like list of board war games is the
Oh,
best chance we have at this.
I can't believe it's not on this page.
I can. It's an obscure game.
But as he said, amongst people that know about this kind of thing, it is like famous for being. It's talked about. It's whispered about. You know what I mean? Like it is the.
No, I get it. I get it that there is a cult following for this particular one, but this is not a very long page, and it's not written for the Uber insider hipster look at this obscure knowledge I have. This is more like, hey, here are the more common board games that you might play or know
But
about.
that's not what this is, right? Like that's right. You don't think that's what this is, do you? This page isn't for popular.
This is
None of this is popular.
popular in relative terms. Like,
damn, I can't believe it's
touching
not
a
on this page.
boob is more popular than all of this shit. But touching
all right. You're right. Okay, all right. List of. I mean, if it's not on list of board war games, then we're in real trouble.
I agree completely. All right. The good news is they are broken down into historical, and I'm going to go straight to World War II and European theater, Eastern Front, Western Front. Scroll. Other campaigns.
The campaign for North Africa, 1978.
What? Where?
Mediterranean Theater and North African Campaign is the section you want to go to.
Oh my God, it's there, finally.
And then you will see it. Holy cow. There's not even a publisher listed for it. So let's go there. Holy cow. I don't believe this.
I'm on the page. It says published by Simulations Publications Incorporated.
Yes. That's correct. Holy cannolis.
And it is considered one of the most complex war games ever published.
Yeah, well, also complex to get to it. See, I told you it was going to take us just as long to get there as it did to play the game. Gosh, that is a long one. That is a long one, folks. And not just wow. Hoof.
We did it, everybody.
We did do it. I have to tell you, I'm looking real quick on Board Game Geek. It gets a 6.3 out of 10. Yeah. So someone has at least rated it. Whether they have played it all the way through or not, I don't know. Well, Jethro, we gotta wrap this up because the people have been listening for way too long.
For days.
But what I need to know is, you were the first to speak today, which means you're the first to tell us how many did you guess for this epic journey? I
guessed 9, but I underlined it on top. No, I guess 6. I guess
6. That is a reasonable guess. I thought we were going to do even better. I guessed 4.
Oh, wow.
So your 6 wins.
Amazing.
Because it took us 10.
Hey, together we got it right. 6 plus 4.
We sure did. As a team, we knew what we were doing. I can't believe it. 10. I thought when we got to that North African campaign page, I was like, I put a number that was too big.
I remember my incredibly poorly informed comment earlier about what a quick episode this was going to be.
Yep. That was wrong. And here we are.
It just goes to show you. You never know, Matt. You never know.
You never do. And just like you never knew during World War II what was going to happen. We're on the other side of it. We can look back and smile. But boy, you didn't know during the time. So here we are. We found it. This incredibly long game was an incredibly long walk. Hopefully, folks, you learned something along the way and maybe even enjoyed it. Got some entertainment out of what we were doing. I don't know. But that's where we are. Any last words before we go, Jethro?
I'm gonna say if anybody ever invites you to play the campaign for North Africa, you should just punch them in the face.
I think that's a great suggestion. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.